definitely upon us, and in England at the moment we are having a bit of a heat wave. So I thought I would use this week's tutorial to show you how to make quite a simple watermelon themed cake. Now this cake would be perfect for a summer party or a summer barbecue, and we've just got a 6-inch cake which is decorated with buttercream. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually make the cakes. So I've got my bowl here and I'm just gonna add in my ingredients. So this is actually the same recipe that I use for my vanilla cupcakes, and I'm just gonna double it up so that when I bake it in my 6-inch tins, it's gonna give me 4 layers of cake. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is just add in 14 ounces of self-raising flour and just sieve that into the bowl. I've then got 14 ounces of caster sugar, 14 ounces of butter, 4 eggs, 4 tablespoons of my flavouring. Now you can use whatever flavouring you prefer, and just 4 tablespoons of milk. Now I'm just going to whisk that all together. Okay, so now all the ingredients are combined and we have this silky smooth cake mixture. All I'm going to do is separate this into separate bowls. Okay, so I've separated out my mixture. So I have 1/4 here and 3/4 in this large bowl. Now all I want to do next is just colour these so they look like the same colours that we're going to use on the outside of the cake. So first of all, for the smaller 1/4 of a mixture, which is just going to be 1 layer of the cake, I've just got some Sugar Flare Extra Green here. So all I'm going to do is just pop some of this gel paste into the cake mixture and just mix that round. Okay, once we have that green colour, I'm going to colour the next lot of mixture. Okay, so for the larger one, I want to make this look like the watermelon colour. So I've just got some Sugar Flare Extra Red here, and I'm just going to add this in until I get a pinky red colour. Okay, so once that is thoroughly mixed, I'm going to add to this some dark chocolate chips. Now, these are just going to look like the watermelon seeds inside the cake. So I'm just going to add 100 grams of those. Okay, so for the tins, I'm just using 6-inch tins. So to prepare those, I'm just going to take a piece of kitchen paper with some butter on there and just run that around inside of the tin until that is completely covered. I'm then just going to take a small amount of flour and then just going to bash that around in the tin until that butter is completely covered. Okay, so once the butter has been completely covered, I'm just going to take some 6-inch parchment paper that I've cut out, just slightly smaller than the base, and just pop that into the bottom of the tin. I'm then just going to take the first of my cake mixture and I'm just going to pop that into our cake tin. Okay, so once that's all in there, I'm just going to smooth that cake mixture down, then just going to create a small dip in the center of the cake mixture. Now the reason that I do this is because the cakes tend to rise in the center, so you get this dome shape. So if you create a small dip in the middle, it just allows for the cake to be a little bit flatter. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing to the 3 other layers, and I'm just going to pop these in the oven at 180 degrees for around 30 minutes. Okay, so I have baked all 4 layers for the cake and I removed these from their tins and let them cool. Now the next thing that I want to do is level them all off. So I'm just going to take a serrated knife and just cut the tops off those so that they are all level. Okay, so I have prepared a batch of vanilla buttercream and I'll put a link in the description below to the exact recipe that I've used. And I've just divided that into 2/4 into smaller bowls and then half of the mixture into this larger bowl. And I'm going to colour these in different colours. Now 2 of these are going to be the exact same colour as the cake. So we're going to have a kind of reddy pink colour for the half mixture, a darker green for 1/4 of the mixture, and a slightly lighter green for the remaining buttercream. So I'm just going to use exactly the same gel paste and colour my buttercream. All 3 colours. I've got a darker green here, a lighter green, and my pinky red colour. We're going to start to stack the cake. First of all, I've got my turntable and just a board to pop the cake on while we work on it. I've got an icing scraper, which is going to be higher than the finished cake. I've got 3 different piping bags and my offset spatula. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just pop my board onto my turntable. Okay, so the first cake I'm going to bring in is my dark green cake. Now this is going to represent the outer layer of the watermelon. Now what I'm going to do is take some of my light green buttercream and I'm just going to pop that onto my cake and smooth that down. And once I've added a nice layer of buttercream, I'm going to add on my first pink layer. I'm then going to pop the green buttercream to one side and add a thin layer of red buttercream. Now, as I have a few of the dark chocolate chips still left, I'm just going to sprinkle a few of those onto the buttercream, and I'm going to pop on my next layer. Now, I'm not actually going to do a crumb coat on this cake as such, and that is because I don't want to cover the cake in one colour. So we're going to have the buttercream on the outside to represent the green, the light green and the red. So all I'm going to do is where the layers meet, I'm just going to run my offset spatula around and just make sure it fills all those gaps between the 2 layers. Now, once you're happy that all the gaps are filled and it's giving you a slightly solid base to start with, I'm just going to pop this in the fridge for around 10 minutes. Just so that buttercream that we've applied can set slightly. So now the cake has been chilled in the fridge. All I'm going to do is take my 3 piping bags and fill those with the 3 different colours of buttercream. So once they have been filled, all I'm going to do is take a pair of scissors and just chop the end off the piping bag so that the gap is around 1 centimetre in diameter. I'm then just going to squeeze the buttercream down so they are ready to pipe. Okay, so I've got my 3 colours of buttercream, and the first part I'm going to do is the darker green at the bottom. Now I want these layers to be about the same height as the cakes. So I'm just going to run this buttercream quite thickly around the cake, and for the dark green I'm going to add on 2 layers. I'm then going to take the lighter green and just do 1 layer, and this is just going to correspond to where we put that lighter green on the inside. I'm then going to take the red buttercream and go around the rest of the cake. Once I get to the top of the cake, I'm just going to put buttercream all over the top. Now I'm going to work on the top first, and I'm just going to use my offset spatula and just smooth down the top of the cake. And once you're happy with how that is looking, we're going to work on the side. Now all I've got here is my metal scraper, and this one is 7 inches in length, so I know that the whole cake is going to be able to be smoothed at the same time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make sure that the bottom of the scraper is always connected to the top of the board, and this is just going to make sure that the edges of the cake are at a 90-degree angle. Push the scraper into the buttercream until I know that we're going to get a straight edge, and I'm just going to start working the turntable around, pulling off that buttercream, and when it gets a little bit too much, I'm just going to wipe the excess away. And once I get back to the beginning, I'm just going to work my way around again, just getting a little bit closer, just making sure that it smooths that buttercream out. Now if there are any imperfections still in your buttercream, what you can do is just go back in with some of that colour and just fill any gaps, and I'm just going to go along the top edge and just smooth that down. Okay, so once you're completely happy with how smooth the cake is and how the cake is looking, I'm going to add some seeds onto the side. Now to make the seeds, I'm just going to take a small amount of black icing. Now I'm just going to pull some of that icing off just so we have a really small ball, so smaller than a pea size. I'm then going to roll that ball in the palm of my hand and just push on one edge just to create a droplet shape. I'm then just going to push with my finger to flatten that out so that we get the shape of the seed. I'm then just going to take that off and apply that to the side of the cake. I'm then going to make more of these seed shapes, and I'm just going to pop them on the side of the cake, just working my way around. And once you're happy with the position of all the seeds, I'm just going to pop the whole cake into the fridge just for around 10 minutes, just for all the buttercream to firm up so that I can transfer it onto the cake stand that I'm going to be using. So here we have the finished watermelon themed cake with the coloured buttercream on the outside and the coloured sponge cake on the inside. I really hope you've enjoyed this video and will enjoy making your own watermelon cake. If you have enjoyed the video, then don't forget to give this video a like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then please subscribe. Also, if there's a type of video that you want to see next, please let me know in the comments below. I'll also put a link in the description to all the recipes that I've used today and to all my social media so that you can follow me there. Bye!